Hit it, Rob.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk. We want to thank you for joining us. As you guys can see, we're missing a couple people. We're going to explain that in just a second. We got an announcement that we are changing our topic due to having a little bit less cast. We thought the other topic was a little bit more in depth, and we did some research and stuff on it, the Big Brother topic, and we're going to address that later on in November and talk about that. So we have a guest with us tonight. Melissa is here with us. Melissa, why don't you just take a second and let the viewers know what your channel name is and just a little bit about yourself, because what we're going to do after the show is put your name and link and everything in the description box below, and everybody can go check you out. So just give us a brief overview of what you're about.
Okay, well, my username on YouTube is Miss Mwizza or Mwizza VSG on Facebook. I was banded in August of 2011, and I had a revision to a VSG in February of 2014, and I've lost 100 pounds. So that's about everything about me.
Okay, so the viewers after the show tonight, you can go down in the description box and hit any of our links and get to know more about us. But Miss Beautiful Alicia is back after taking a week off. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And Ben Maiden is here tonight, regular cast member with us, of course. And myself, Rob Reno, a.k.a. Daddy. Now, you guys notice that Pam is not here and Erica is not here. Pam is out sick. We wish her a speedy recovery. We hope she's back next week. And Erica is taking care of some personal things, and we're expecting her back next week. So it'd be great to have them both back. We also wanted to take a second and announce that Jenny Gomez, who was on our show, or Jenny Lee, as a lot of us know her, she's fought long and hard, and her plate is very full with helping raise her sisters and school and stuff, and she is not going to be able to be on the show anymore as a cast member, as a co-host here, and we are going to miss her. What I want to do is take a second and from all of us regular cast members to Jenny, thank you so much for all the efforts and time that you put in to helping us get things going with the show, working with Alicia, working with all of us in the brainstorming session. You did an amazing job, and you have amazing ideas, and we thank you so much, and we were glad that you were able to be with us for the short time that you were, and we wish you nothing but the best. Having said that, we want to go into tonight's topic, which is shoulda, woulda, coulda. And we're gonna start with the shouldas. And we can talk about anything we want to. It doesn't have to be just weight loss related. When you think of I should have or should have done, what comes to your mind? Now we're gonna start with Alicia on this. Alicia, what comes to your mind when you think of your life or whatever topic you're thinking of in your head? What comes to mind when you hear shoulda?
Well, I should have. What comes to mind actually when I was younger, I always wanted, I always had an idea of what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I always thought I should have been an accountant because I love numbers, and I still think I should become one. So
It's never too late.
Right? I'm only 40.
There you go. Then what about you, shoulda?
Well, I have a couple shouldas, and I'll start with the first one. I should have started caring for my health sooner in my life, rather than waiting to the point I waited to take care and take charge of my life in that regard. The other shoulda is I should have been an attorney, because I like to argue and talk and, banter back and forth with people a lot. So I think that, that's something I probably should have done.
Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to get everybody shouldas, and then we're going to talk about that topic as a group and just fire things off each other. Viewers, feel free to weigh in with your shouldas and whatever area of your life you want to share. Melissa, what about you? What do you think of when you think of shoulda? I should have what?
There's a few. To begin with, I should have been more involved in high school. I feel like I should have focused on my studies more than partying and boys and drugs and rock and roll. And I should have used my tool, my lap band tool, better in the beginning, and did more research on the weight loss surgery that I chose. The sleeve was out at the time that I had lap band, but I was just not informed. And I should have taken more time and done more research and to pick the right surgery the first time and not have had 2 surgeries.
Okay. And for myself, I'll say I should have done something as an adult in my early 30s to battle the continuing weight gain that I was experiencing. I just kept turning a blind eye to it and never really addressed that issue as I sat there and got bigger and bigger and bigger. And before long, I was in the seat watching South Beach Toe, laughing so hard I couldn't catch my breath. I was out of breath because I was just big. And I mean, that's such a stupid thing to let it get that far out of hand, but I was very famous for doing that, and something I should have done was really looked at myself in my early 30s and did something about it. I should have done it then. So that's our should have. You, the viewers, can share your should haves, and now we're just going to kind of open the floor as a general talk about everything that we all said. And I'm going to start it out with just a question to Zen first. Zen, when you made the comment and you said that you should have made efforts to take care of yourself better when you were younger and that kind of a thing, why do you think you didn't? I mean, what was going on that you just didn't pay any attention to it whatsoever?
Well, first of all, I had 2 kids at that time, when I started, after I'd gained some weight, and related to pregnancy totally because I was not overweight before that. And then I got divorced when my youngest one was 3 years old. I mean, my oldest one was 3. So I had 2, and so they were both under the age of 3. And so I was working full time, and dealing with just everyday life with, daycare, had to have a housekeeper come in and, you know what I'm saying, keeping the house and dealing with the housekeeper and the kids and shuffling this and that. So I just, kind of let myself kind of go into a denial period, I think. And I just think that the denial period and what I was going through, all the turmoil in my mind and, the legal stuff and this and that, just going, that just dragged on. And then I just became sort of like on a, straight and narrow. I go, okay, I have to do these things, and this is what I'm going to do over here for entertainment, and F it, and I think that as time went on, as my life settled down, I just kind of got more complacent. Even though I hated it, I didn't like looking at myself in the mirror. I knew that probably no one else wanted to look at me either. So I just sort of became more reclusive. I would hang out with my friends, but other than that, I wasn't trying to meet anybody, didn't really give a damn, just living my life and turning a blind eye to it as I just continued to, gradually just gain a little more, a little more, a little more, a little more, till I got to the point, like you were saying, where you're sitting at a certain point, you're having a hard time walking up the stairs, you're breathing heavy, or wheezing, or I was coming down with asthma attacks all the time, and on all kind of steroid inhalers and different inhalers because my lungs were bad, I was heavy, you know what I mean, and problems with my feet, on and on and on. Don't want to bore the crowd, but you know what I'm saying. Just more stuff developed, and then it kind of had a push came to shove.
And I think the thing that's weird, and I'm sure we've all done this, I mean, I can't speak for us, but just from following our journeys and stuff, I mean, Melissa, I'm fairly new to following, very, very new, but, I think the thing that's weird is we continue to turn that blind eye, and it just continues to build and build, and you get more and more struggles and more challenges, but yet we still turn that blind eye to it. Now, that's a good question for all of us, so let's just talk amongst each other, and I want Melissa and Alicia to both share how did you get so far out of control that you ended up where you did? I mean, what happened? What do you think led you to that point, other than, say, just turning the blind eye? I mean, what happened?
Well, for me, I think it started when I was like really young, and just going through abusive, like sexually abusive situations, which I think a lot of times that's what happens. But, I was really just ignored by a lot of people, by my around my parents, and then as I got a little bit older, like in high school or junior high, and my, the one person in my life that was the only person that seemed to care about me, died. That was a really tough thing. So like the only thing I had to felt like I had that uh, really comforted me was food, and specifically like I'm a sweets person. I've always been a sweets person, and just candy, lots of candy, it just like went on and on, and it was easier not to look in the mirror and see where, what I had done to myself. And as years went by, years and years, it was just like it got so out of control that I felt like, at the point of no return, like there was, like I was too far gone. And I truly believed, up to a couple years ago that I was like so far gone. So like, what was the point? And I just kept getting bigger, 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 I mean, and I just felt like I wasn't worth it.
Melissa, we're going to get to you in just a second, but I did want to ask just a question to Alicia that goes with what she talked about. Now, I know when your sexual abuse happened, you've talked about that on your channel and in a magazine and stuff you was on.
Hmm.
I know you were younger, but do you think that your weight gain came at that time from if you thought maybe if you ate a lot of food and put on a bunch of weight that people wouldn't be attracted to you? Or did the majority of your weight loss come after the loss of your grandmother? Or both?
My grandfather. Well,
Grandfather, sorry.
um, it was around that time, but I think mostly, it was just like I was never. I have a younger brother, and he was always the one that was like noticed. He was always the one because he was like a sports. He played baseball and stuff, so he was always noticed. He was going to be and my dad was convinced that he was just going to be this next baseball star and blah blah blah, and I was just like not even noticed whatsoever. I was always just like wasn't good enough, and that I think maybe in a way it was like that was my only way to get any attention, because my father would always complain and say, you need to lose weight, you need to do this, and there was a lot of empty promises to me if I lost weight, and so I think that really has came with me through adulthood, is finding people who have a lot of empty promises to me, and stuff. It's like I seem to find the people who have a lot of empty promises. It's like, you promised me nothing? Oh, I like you. you know. So
Um, Melissa, what about you? What do you think led up to the overweight to where you had to have not one surgery but two surgeries?
I think I was always um, the bigger kid in class. Even in kindergarten, I was the tallest kid at that time. But I think I started noticing it like in fifth grade that I was bigger than the other girls, not just taller, but like structurally bigger. And then, when you have those spirit days and stuff at school where you like trade clothes and swap shoes, I could never do that, and I felt left out. And I comforted with food, and we weren't rich, but we weren't like dirt poor, but we were pretty much middle class. And my parents always told us we couldn't leave the table until all of our food was clean. So I think that also had to deal with the food issues starting very young, is you clean your plate. And then, once you clean your plate, then I ate more, and then I just ate more. And then I would say I was an active child up until high school. And then high school is, I think, really when I started gaining my weight. All I did was eat, party, drink, do drugs, be a rebellious teenager. And then after I sobered up, which was after high school, instead of doing drugs or drinking, I guess I was still drinking. I wasn't doing drugs anymore, and I comfort myself with food. Then I would say I really gained most of my weight, like probably a good 150 pounds or more, right after my first breakup with my like high school sweetheart. And then with my lap band, I had 3 other family members already have the lap band. I had one aunt that was very successful, another aunt that is successful, and then an uncle who never got it filled or anything. And I just, not that I didn't follow the rules, because I did. It's hard not to follow the rules when you can't eat anything, but my band was just, it was not what I thought it was going to do. I really thought in my head that, oh, this lap band will be my God calling, answer. I'm gonna drop weight so quickly. And
So how long did you go from like lap band to VSG though? What made you change your mind?
I loved my lap band up until my lap band slipped. Because I was still losing weight up until it slipped, which was December of 2012. So a year and a half after my lap band was placed, I had lost 60 pounds. I wasn't a fast loser. I was a pretty slow loser. I had lost 60 pounds up until December of 2012. And after that, they emptied it, and it was constant filling.
Do you regret having it though?
Yes, I do. I knew about the sleeve, and I knew about bypass. I thought bypass was a little too much invasive for me at 23. I was super young, one of the youngest that's out there. I think Rebecca Lapband is the youngest person that I've known so far to get some sort of weight loss surgery. I think hers was at 18. So I was fairly young. And then I should have done more research. My boyfriend at the time, or I guess he's still my boyfriend, he had the bypass in February, and he told me, Melissa, you should really do the sleeve. You need to do the sleeve. You need to do the sleeve. You're going to be more successful at the sleeve. And I think that had a lot to do with not being successful with the lap band either. My support at home was telling me I had the wrong surgery for the almost 3 years that I had it.
Yeah.
So that also played in the fact that my support system at home was not ideal. I mean, he was very supportive, but not as supportive. He kept telling me I should have had the sleeve.
Right.
So.
All right. Goes on.
What about you, Rob? What got you to be where you're at right now?
You got me to be Fatty McFatty Pants, right?
All right. Tell
I've
us.
always said mine is a true love for food. I was bulimic when I was younger, when I was in my mid to late teens. I dealt with that. I dealt to getting down to 137 pounds, being very, very small, sick, weak, going into treatment, and then coming out of that and having some battles, and then living a pretty normal life between a healthy range for me for about 12 and a half years. And then from there, it just went south. And I thought, I'm going to eat. You know what I'm saying? I just figured that I was going to eat the things that I wanted. I figured, in my mind, I guess I was thinking as long as I didn't go backwards to being bulimic again, I was okay. Now, I would have never thought that I would get to the weight that I got to and put on that massive amount of weight. I would have never guessed that I would have went there. Mm-hmm. But having said that, you eat and eat and eat and eat, and you do see that it's going up, and you're getting heavier, but I don't think you think of the whole number. At least I didn't. I looked at the days or the weeks and said, oh, I gained 3 pounds this week. It could have been worse. The next week I gained 2 pounds. Could have been worse. The next week it was 6 pounds. So, I mean, it was just accumulating at a decent, at a fast pace. And before you knew it, you were, 5 feet underwater, your mouth just above the water so you could breathe, but it was hard to do pretty much anything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was going to ask, Alicia, did you use any type of therapy or anything to get past your childhood issues? I mean, what helped you turn that around and get your mind clear?
Oh gosh. I've tried to be in therapy and like work towards, talk about it. But it seemed like every time I went to a therapist, they never wanted to talk about what I want to talk about. So, I just kind of got past it myself. Like I just realized that, it's something that happened to me and I need to just, I know this sounds awful, but I just need to suck it up and get over it. And like that just was something that I needed to do. And the thing with my dad, like I realized that, I actually had a conversation with him one time, and it was a one-ended conversation. Like I didn't want any feedback from him whatsoever. And I said some things that I meant, like that they just came, like they just literally came pouring out, and I said how I felt. And then when I was done, I hung up on him mainly because I know he hates it when people hang up on him, and it was just like haha in your face, and stuff. But then my uncle died about a year later, and I felt like if anything happened without talking to him again, that I would feel really bad. So I did say to him, I don't regret anything that I said. I just regret how I said it to you. But after that, it was just like, after I told him how I felt, I just really had a lot of peace, within myself. And I've just worked a lot on myself. Like, I just have. I've tried therapy and stuff, but I've talked about this many, many times before. I love going to OA. I wish I would have done it sooner. You know? I just made myself into the woulda. No, I really wish I woulda tried it sooner and went sooner. But
No,
I just
should have tried it sooner. Shoulda. We're on shoulda.
I shoulda, I coulda, and I woulda if.
We are gonna move on to woulda in a second, but before we move on, I want to ask Melissa something because I've watched a lot of people within the community. I have never had weight loss surgery, but I support everybody that's had it. I respect what they choose, but there is the common assumption that a lot of people pick that band because it's the least invasive. B, it's the least expensive if you're paying for it out of pocket, so to say, or was at the time back in the day, and I think it probably still is. I don't know, but I don't do the procedure, so I can't. But and also, a lot of people within the community will say that it's the easy way out. That's what hits lap banders a lot. They get the bad rap for saying it's the easy way out. They took the easy way out with that. What are your feelings real quick, because we are going to move on to woulda, but did you pick that because other family members had it and you truly thought you would have success, or were you scared of, quote, going that far under the knife to get VSG? You said you really didn't feel you were a candidate for RNY, and I understand that. But looking back, is there one thing that sets out, or is there several things that set out for you? And what are your feelings towards people thinking that's the easy way out?
Lap band is definitely not the easy way out. No weight loss surgery is the easy way out. It is fucking hard. Excuse my language. Weight loss surgery is super duper hard. I don't care what anybody says. It is definitely not the easy way out. I picked lap band in the beginning, I would say 90% solely on because I had successful family members, and everybody that I had watched on YouTube at the time, Banded Wendy, Sky Moon, I forget the numbers after Melanie's. Yeah, I had watched very successful people with lap band. I don't know, but at that time, who puts in unsuccessful lap band reviews or anything like that? Nobody did that. I didn't know there was a whole Facebook group about people who have failed lap band, or their lap band or realized band didn't work out for them. I didn't know all the complications that you could have had. I was aware that it could slip in the prolapse and stuff like that, but I didn't know that it could erode to your stomach. I didn't know that your liver could get attached to it. I didn't know all the complications, and I didn't know that I would be as sick as I did, eventually almost vomiting after every single one of my meals, even after I had an complete unfill. But no, it's not the easy way out. I do still support people who have lap bands. I have friends that have lap bands still. My family members still have their lap bands. It was just not the right choice for me, and I do regret not doing more research, not knowing that there are major complications with it. Not that everybody has them, but I should have done more research. I could have done more research, but I was lazy, I would say.
And if she wasn't lazy, she would have done more research. So there's your shoulda, coulda, woulda.
Exactly.
Okay.
Alicia's full of jokes tonight, just so you know.
You guys, let's move on to woulda. Let's go on to woulda. We've done shoulda. We're going to move on to woulda. I'm going to check some comments as you guys are talking, so please don't feel that I'm ignoring you. But let's start this one with Zen. Woulda. When you hear woulda, what comes to your mind that you wish you would have, or whatever the case might be?
I guess I wish I would have been able to travel a lot in my, my younger years, and even now. I like to travel the world and see and spend time in different cultures and just embrace it and, enjoy, have more time to enjoy. So I think that because I've worked so much in so many years, that I wish I would have had more time to enjoy.
Yeah. It hits us fast when you get involved in the working and everything. It just seems like everything goes so fast. Let's go to Melissa next on this one. Melissa, woulda.
I wish I would have went away for college. I stayed home to a community college. So I wish I would have went to college and experienced college life and, got that all the way and joined a sorority or something. My little brother is in college right now at Mizzou, and not that he's like enjoying it, but I wish I could have stayed at a dorm and done every like college, woman, but I stayed at home, so I would have went away for college, I would say.
Awesome. Alicia, woulda?
I just wish I would have had enough, faith in myself, just, believed in myself more, that I would just gone out and been around people and really lived and experienced life, because now at 40, I feel like I am doing those things, but I wish I would have done it, 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I would have done it way then. I mean, I wish I would have even done it in high school, done the, the whole high school thing. I didn't even graduate high school, so it's something that I wish I would have done. And it's funny because a lot of people who I went to high school with, they have no clue I didn't even graduate. Like, everyone thinks I graduated, and I'm like, no, And I just wish I would have done so much more. I mean, I did do some things in high school, was involved, but I wish I just would have done so much more.
Yeah. I think for me, I go to high school too, and I look back and I wish I would have been more involved in sports. I wish I would have cared more about my health. I think when we're young, in that case, I had a huge disrespect for my health, in the sense that I looked, and I've said this before, and obviously my view has changed now, living on both ends of it. I used to look at fat people with disgust. They used to make me absolutely sick to look at, but you have to remember I was suffering from bulimia. So just as somebody may look at me and think, oh my God, he's sick. Look at how gross he looks. He's very thin. I would look at heavy people, and I didn't hate them as a person or look at them as disgusted as a person, but I was disgusted by how they looked, and I didn't understand how they could treat their bodies like that and eat like that. But in the end, who the hell was I to be judging someone else when I'm sitting here down to, almost 130 pounds, and that's not healthy either. So I wish I would have had, I don't blame my parents, I don't blame the schools. I was going to do what I wanted to do. I was, 16, 17, 18, 19 years old. I was going to do what I wanted to do, okay? No one's going to force you to eat something unless you're put into a treatment center at that point, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I did what I wanted to do. I wish I would have been more focused on my health as a whole. And I wasn't. I really dropped the ball on that. And then I turned around and dropped that same damn ball after running with it for 12 years and went to the total other end of the exact people that used to disgust me, in my mind at least, when I was sick with bulimia, and went to being obese. So
let me ask you a question.
What goes around comes around, right? I shouldn't have been talking shit.
Do people, because I remember when I first started watching you, Rob, and when you first started doing shortly after I think you first started doing your videos, and I mean, if you go back into your videos, there's obviously, you've lost a lot of weight and stuff. So I actually had a couple of people have asked me, they're like, oh, what surgery did Rob have? Did he have surgery? Is that a question that ever comes up? Do people ask you, did you have surgery? Because it just seems to be like the thing now. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. Everyone seems to be having surgery. Not that there's anything wrong with it, obviously, because I had surgery, but.
I have. I've had a couple people at work ask me if I'd had surgery, and I have a lot of people within the community. Not so much now because I'm known, and people that know me know that I have not had surgery. But
Right.
the fact of the matter is, and it's not a race, and I'm not comparing or saying my journey is better than theirs, but when you really go back and look at the facts and the stats, I was losing weight quicker than people that had BSG and lap band that were guys, and losing weight at more of a rapid rate than what they were. And I was doing it, for lack of a better word, the traditional way. I was just doing exercise, walking, and having a healthy diet. And so I do get that question from time to time, nowhere near as much as I did back in the beginning. Because people know Daddy.
I have a question for you too, Rob. No, I don't know your story, and I don't follow you, but I will after tonight. I don't know very many men who either admit to having bulimia or have bulimia. When did you know that it was, one, an issue, and two, how did you overcome it? And you're so open with it. I mean, so far, what advice do you give other men with bulimia?
Sure. That's a great question, and since you don't know me, I'll just tell you real quick, I am a supermodel. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. In all seriousness, my bulimia started back when I used to play competitive tennis, and I'm going to try to keep this quick. I had a tennis coach, his name was Sam. Sam was an amazing tennis player. Tennis players are rated on a scale of 1 to 7, with a 7 being a professional, a 1 being somebody that can barely get the ball over the net. You're learning, right? I was ranked a 4.5 player, and I played competitively. Well, there was a guy named Michael who used to play, and he was seeded number 1. I was seeded number 2. My main goal and focus became to get caught up and pass Michael and take over that number 1 spot. I mean, whose goal when you're playing in a competitive sport isn't to become number 1, correct? Right. So that was my goal. What ended up happening was I was warming up and practicing with my coach, and he's ranked a 6. So he's hitting this shit over the net. I'm flying like crazy. And he goes, what is your ultimate goal? What do you want to do, Rob? And I said, I want to take over the number 1 spot from Mike. And he goes, if you're going to want to do that, you are going to have to you're going to have to get control of the ball from the initial return and get him running back and forth cross court, because you are bigger than he is and he can move quicker than you. The only words, Melissa, that stuck in my head was, you're bigger than him. Okay? He's smaller than you. I thought, oh, well, all Daddy's got to do is get smaller, and then I'm going to take over number one, right? No, that's not what happened. What happened is I weighed 165 at that time. I continued to lose weight. I kept falling in the rankings lower and lower and lower, and I was getting sick. I was weak. I couldn't play. I'd play matches. I was getting beat left and right. I dropped out of the top 10. I dropped out of the top 25. I never went back and played tennis again on a competitive level. I've only played with friends. And it was all because I heard something. At the same time all that was going on, I fired Sam, or I should say at my parents' request, Sam was fired. And I hired a new lady, Sue Selke, who became my coach. She was ranked just a skosh higher than what Sam was. But for no reason, I fired him, had him fired, and got someone else because I blamed him for everything when really it was all my fault. So I would recommend to people that are bulimic, that are guys, don't be ashamed of it. There's nothing wrong with admitting what you are. You can't get better until you get help. You can't get better until you admit it and be straightforward about it. And I look at it as just a part of my life. It was a card that was in my hand of cards, and it's what I was dealt, and I played it, and I hope to never go back there again. And now I'm battling another card that was in my hand that has to do with weight, and that's obesity. So there we go.
But I think, at the same time, it's a big, it's nice to have, there's not, like Melissa said, there's not a lot of men who would admit to that, or, and I think it's just nice for other men to see, it's okay to admit when you've done something and been defeated and stuff, because obviously you've done very well. And I mean, just recently you kind of like fell back a little bit, but now you started, going back in the right direction. So, I know that a lot of people, they get on YouTube and they only show when the good stuff, when the good stuff's happening. People don't want to show when, they failed and they're down and out and stuff. And so, what I mean,
That's true.
I know I've done, and that's one thing I'm gonna say on my woulda. I would do it all over again. I show the good, the bad, and the very ugly side of Alicia. So, and I don't mind. And even though, and I love my haters, love them, telling you. I'm sorry, I had to go there. But, I would so do everything that I've done here on YouTube all over again because it has helped me get to where I am today. Oh, I would so do it all over again.
Yeah.
What about you guys? I know that you guys have been on YouTube for a while.
Yeah. I was going to say back to Rob's question, though, or back to Rob's statement. Rob, I think that it shows a good example for men, and I think a lot of men, even though they may not be bulimic, that just the fact that they're coming forward and going and having weight loss surgery or embarking on weight loss journey, for a lot of time that people just don't choose to focus on themselves, and you have put that out there. You have actually, been an example to a lot of people, and I think that it's very helpful for the community as a whole. I mean, it's awesome, whether you have the surgery or you don't. All the guys, there's a lot more guys now that are actually coming on YouTube. Before they didn't come on YouTube. So they found it to be a friendly place. And you're right, Alicia, the good, the bad, and the ugly, it depends what you want to put out there on your channel. I mean, everybody has good, bad, and ugly, for real.
I think one of the things that really helped me decide to get help was, I remember and I was at a library, and I went in, and that's when, I didn't go out and buy People magazine or whatever. That was like back when you might have walked into a store and they had 10 of them, and them bitches would snatch it up off the shelf as quick as they were found, right? So I went to a library and I checked out this one because I saw something on the cover, and it said, brother, sister, anorexic. And I knew I wasn't anorexic because I was eating, binging, and purging. But I knew that, oh my God, here's a guy who's come forward that has an eating disorder. that I can relate to because he was thin and I was thin. I couldn't relate to and I'm not saying this with any disrespect, but I couldn't relate to the obese and the fats and that kind of a stuff if I saw those on a magazine because, again, I'm thinking that's not my situation. They just can't put the damn fork down, which obviously now I know that's not true, but that's what everybody tells us, just put the fork down. It's not about putting the fork down, people. It's a whole mental game. But I remember seeing this magazine, and it had a brother and a sister on it, and they were both had battled anorexia and had came out of it alive and were recovered. And I remember specifically focusing on him because he was someone I could relate to. And he now, or back in the day, had worked for Walt Disney World in their human resource department, and he looked amazing. He looked healthy again. He looked vibrant. And I thought, I need to be him. I need to get there with my illness. And I took that magazine, and you know what Daddy did? I stole it. I kept that magazine, you guys. I never took that back to the library. They charged me like $7 back in the day when that magazine was probably $1.49 back in the day, right? I kept that magazine, and I don't know what happened to it now, but I have went online and tried to find that edition of People magazine, and I cannot find it. It has a brother and a sister walking like through an open land area, like not woods, but there's some trees in the back, and it looks like they're in a field with wheat just above the knees, and they're walking, and it's just an amazing picture, and it really helped me turn myself around and get to somewhere great. Well,
so if someone out there has a copy of that magazine and that you know what he's talking about, you can contact Rob Reno at
robrenoiphone@gmail.com.
or if you have a link, he would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah.
Before we move on to coulda, because we do need to move on, does anybody want to say anything about woulda? Anything else? Nope? Okay. So. Let's move on to coulda, and we're going to start this one with Alicia. Alicia, when you think of the word coulda, what do you really think deep down you wish you coulda or could have done or whatever?
Oh gosh. I don't, it's really hard to think of things that I wish I could have done. Obviously there's a lot of things that come to mind, that I've already talked about and stuff. Like I said, school was a big thing for me, and way back, but unfortunately because of certain circumstances, I let it, I didn't finish and stuff. And I still think about it, and I'm like, gosh, I wish I could go back to school. I wish I could. And I know it's like, there's no reason why I can't, but I still think about, I wish I could do that. I see people going back to school all the time, and I see people, doing things all the time, and I'm like, I wish I could do that, but I just don't know how, or it scares me. Like, taking that extra step really scares me, because I'm like, I'm afraid of failure. I'm afraid of not being able to do it and just failing. And so, yeah.
Let's go to Melissa next. Melissa, woulda. Or no, Daddy went backwards. Coulda.
I don't really wish I could have done anything, because I feel like I can do whatever I want. I'm a grown adult. If I want to go back to school, I can. I have. I plan on going back to school in the fall. I could have researched my surgery more. I could have studied harder in school. I could have went away for college, but I made those decisions, and not that I regret any of the choices that I've made, because it's made me who I am, and I love myself now, which is a hard thing for a lot of people to do, especially after surgery. They're finding themselves. I've never really felt lost, ever. I always felt like me. I just feel like I can be more of me now. Um, I can walk around an amusement park now with it not hurting. My thighs don't rub together anymore. I don't have like, a rash on my thighs for just walking around the mall. I almost can buy clothes in a normal department store again.
Hey.
I know. But I don't feel like
So
I
there's
could.
nothing that you wish that you could do? Come
No,
on.
I feel like I can do everything I want to. If I want to do something, I can. Um, I'm teaching my 2-year-old niece to not say I can't. Right now, I can't, Aunt Liz, I can't. No, you can. Why can't you? Why can't you do it? And that's the kind of mentality I live with now, is why can't I do that? There's nothing holding me back now. So especially with VSG, I can eat whatever I want. Now, should I? Probably not. Will I? Probably. But I don't feel like there's nothing I can't do. Um,
Well, obviously, we learned that when. Okay, I'm not even gonna say it.
I can do
I
whatever
mean,
I want. I just, um,
let's just say that if you watch Melissa, she did do whatever she wanted. We know a certain video she did whatever she wanted.
I don't regret anything I do. I mean, I could have said things nicer, but you know what? I am who I am. If you don't like me, there's the door.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Then, what
Um,
about?
on the coulda, I think, there's lots and lots of couldas. So I'm just going to stick with, to start out, that I guess when I was a lot younger, I could have partied a lot less. I probably have a few more brain cells. Oh, I did well in high school and went to college, but I did well in college, but I partied a lot there too. I partied a lot. So my daughter now says, "Oh, I want to go away to school." I'm like, I'm not so sure about that. Because it's just, just you have to be very disciplined. So I guess the other things I wish I could have done is I wish I could have like come to realization about my mental state and where I want to be. I wish I could have done that sooner. I wish I could have made the decision for myself to have weight loss surgery 20 years ago. I think things would be a lot different in my results today had that been the case. But, there's a lot of couldas in life, And I guess I could change, if I could change the past, maybe I would in some things, some areas of my life. I also was a temporary bulimic. I did that for a while in high school. I experimented a lot with every diet known to man, and I was already thin. See, that's the thing. I wasn't rail thin, but I was pretty thin at 110 pounds, 105 pounds. And I remember, like eating one pork chop for the whole day. That would be it. And I figured, okay, if this is how you do it, then this is how you do it. You stay thin. So I played the game. If I would gain a few pounds, we would go play tennis and drink diet soda and just try every method. So I wish I could have had the foresight, the knowledge that what I was going to face later on from damaging my metabolism, the way I did. So, yeah, I have some thoughts about that.
did
What
anybody
about
do
you, Rob?
did anybody do the cigarette and Diet Coke diet? Because I thought that one was an actual diet.
I've never done that.
Well, I think I probably lived on that for many, many years.
Sorry, Rob, go ahead.
With that one, I'm kind of like you to a degree, Melissa. I don't think there's a lot of things that I wish I could have done. Looking back, and my life has changed so much this past year. For those that don't know, I lost my dad and my brother within 6 months of each other, and it was very heartbreaking. And I guess looking back, if there was something I wish I could have done, I wish I could have just spoke to each of them maybe one more time and said a goodbye and gave them a really big hug. Because you just never know when you're hugging somebody. when it's going to be the last time. I remember when I hugged my brother this past Christmas, I could have never imagined that he would be gone within 90 days. And if I'd have known that, I would have gave him such a bigger hug and maybe just spent a little bit more time in that hug. So now when I hug my family and stuff when I'm leaving, it's always like a bear hug because you just never know. But I really wish I could have just had one more hug, one more smell, one more touch of them, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what I wish I could have done.
So there are a couple of comments, and I think if I'll read them. So let's see here. I just lost it. Oh gosh, stupid.
Ja.
Here
Here we go. Right.
Okay, so so who was it? I just saw it. Oh, Lori has hope. She says, "Hi Alicia, how are you feeling now? I hope you're healing well from your surgery." I'm doing good. I've had a few bad days and I have good days, and obviously today it's one of my better days. I'm making jokes, so you know that is good. I was a little stressed out earlier, but you know, thanks to Rob, he came to my rescue and stuff, and you know, but it's always nice to be here amongst friends and people that I know that really care about me and I care about them, and so I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Hopefully Friday I have the drains taken out. I'm hoping, but overall things are really looking really good. So thank you so much. Oh, and then she also says, I look pretty happy and healthy. Thank you. I attempted to try to be a normie and go all black, so,
I was
you
gonna
know.
ask you about that. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, she looks normal.
Well, I don't know what normal is, but I'm attempting it. So I don't know how long this will last, so enjoy it while it's here. That's all I have to say. But I am feeling better. And then Mary J says, "Hi everybody, I'm here late, but here. I'm still eating Quest bars."
Oh, no.
Quest
boy.
Can't stop. I'm doomed. I've tried everything except hypnotism. Stuck, stuck, stuck. Great show. I'm following you all. Love it. Thank you. Well, Mary, you know we're all here for you, and you know what? If I have to threaten the Quest people to stop, to not sell you bars, then that's what I'll do.
I like them.
I can't buy them anymore.
Addicted to them.
I do. I will eat them as like just meals. I can't do it anymore. It's like my candy bar addiction.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Buy them anymore.
It's like
bars.
if you find a certain flavor that you really love, it's like freaking candy bar.
Yeah. I woke up with a bar on my cheek. I sleep eat. So I ate half of one in the middle of the night and woke up with cookie dough Quest bar on my cheek. I'm not even joking, guys. Like, that's when I knew I had a problem. I was like, I gotta stop eating in my sleep. I gotta stop. I can't count those calories.
Since you guys were talking about this, I just have a general question, and there is no right or wrong answer. If you could pick out any flavor of Lay's potato chips, I'm not saying you got to eat the whole bag. Now let's not go crazy. But
I would.
Any bag, whether it be the big bag, the little bag, the 25-cent bag, you could pick out any flavor and eat those. What would you choose? What's your favorite? Because there's so many flavors now. It's crazy.
I like what's that cheddar one? It's like a cheddar.
Those are Ruffles.
Yeah,
Oh,
those
there's
are
a Lay's. Isn't there a Lay's cheddar one? Yeah, there's a cheddar one.
There's the mac and cheese, or the.
Oh no. You know what? I did that That whole thing that everyone was doing with those weird flavors, I'm sorry, that shit was nasty. I don't know where these people get off, like, why they would even make those, but they were just gross. Like, they were gross.
Well, I'm putting it down right now. I'm going to get me some sour cream and onion. And that's
my favorite is, I'm sorry, my favorite are the Ruffles, the cheddar and sour cream ones.
Those are amazing.
That's the ones I was having, but they have Lay's like that too.
No.
I like the jalapeno ones that you could get at Subway. I forgot the brand, but they're really spicy, and those are the ones I like. There's some kind of kettle chip, Mary Jane's, there's some name.
See, they're not playing by the rules because you said Lay's. You didn't say no.
No, but I don't eat that stuff. Okay, if I had to choose a Lay's, I guess it would be barbecue.
Ooh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love the barbecue one.
Barbecue are great on a tuna sandwich if you eat bread. Even with tuna lettuce, it'd be awesome to have a chip or two in there, spice it up.
I used to put Doritos on, like, a barbecue rib sandwich. Oh, no, I'm such a fatty. Those are delicious. I love that crunch in the sandwich.
We have, you guys, it looks like we have about 5 minutes left. Let's each share a food fetish real quick because, I mean, you know, we're, you know, on weight loss journeys and stuff, but come on, it's real life. We all have to eat. We all have to do stuff. One thing I know that people will always call me out on when I'm at a restaurant is sometimes I will get tartar sauce for my French fries, and I will I'll get my French fries in tartar.
So good.
And people are like, I'll say, oh, I'd like a side of tartar, and they're like, oh, you want a side of tartar? And I go, yeah, for my French fries. And they kind of just like, okay. What about you guys?
Fish. Mine is dipping pizza and ranch.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, that's so good. So good.
It is so good.
French fries in Big Mac sauce.
Oh, French fries with vinegar.
No.
What was that?
French fries and vinegar. They're good that way.
Oh, okay. Well, y'all get me hungry.
And there's like French fry. Well, it's only actually, I think it's only like Oregon, Idaho, maybe Washington. They have Burgerville here, and they have the best spread. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Wow.
And now I'm getting hungry.
I guess we should talk maybe about red light foods now. Huh? Red light foods. Mine are cookie dough, chocolate, anything in a bowl that's chocolate is danger for me. And, you know, it's all Italian food.
Mm.
Pizza for me. It's pizza, pizza, pizza.
Red light for me, brick cheese and potato chips. I can't even have those in the house. I eat them when I go out.
Okay, so mine are, this is going to be awful, birthday cake Oreos and anything snack size. Today was my first day in the office, and a lady brought a bowl of snack size candy from Halloween, and I ate 4 pieces. Like, I just couldn't stop because they're, oh, it's just a snack size. Like, it's so little. It's not a full candy bar. I ate a full candy bar today if you add the 4 little snack sizes. So anything snack size because it's snack. And if you want to make me fat, give me some birthday cake Oreos. I can eat a whole thing by myself. Well, I could.
Now, let me ask you guys this because we're talking about Oreos. I love Oreos, but I've had a pack in my cart twice at Walmart and put them back on the shelf. I got to ask you guys, have any of you tried the mega stuffed Oreos?
Mm-mm.
These ain't double stuffed. These are mega stuffed.
No, I haven't.
I've had those bitches in my cart twice. And so
I tried the fruit punch ones. They are super nasty. Don't.
Ew.
That's so gross.
I am obsessed right now. I'm going to show you guys what I'm obsessed with right now. So, yes, this is a product I'm going to show you guys.
Plug.
These are so amazing. Oh, my gosh. They're pumpkin spice almonds, and let me tell you, they are to die for. so good.
Okay, one more thing. Since it just came out yesterday in my email that the holiday, Christmas Starbucks are out, which one is your favorite? Mine is the peppermint mocha. It's my guilty pleasure.
I love peppermint mocha. Are you talking about like a Starbucks coffee?
Yeah, Starbucks coffee.
Oh, I don't do Starbucks.
Okay.
Starbucks
Well,
and me are like
not
no
friend.
go. I don't like Starbucks. I'm against them.
Okay.
But no, I like anything. But if anyone knows me, like if I was a Starbucks person, let me just say, anything peppermint would be okay by me. I love peppermint, and yeah, everyone knows that.
Yeah. I like peppermint bark.
Oh, go ahead, then.
Oh, I was just saying, I love peppermint bark. Don't get me started on that holiday. For me, I just drink espresso drinks, pretty much. Americano. I like triple espresso shot. I like strong coffee. I like the Italian coffee. I'm not big on the flavored coffee, although I could have one if someone made it for me and said, "Here, it's for you." I would drink it. But if I was going to pay for it, I would get what I like, what I know I like. So
Yeah.
I don't drink hot beverages generally, but if I got a coffee from Starbucks or anywhere else, I would get either an iced coffee or a frappuccino, and I would get a buttery nipple frap.
Oh my God, that sounds delicious.
It is. There's no alcohol in this particular one, but it's butterscotch.
What?
And it is amazing.
Oh, that sounds good.
Look, now she's gonna be thinking about that one tomorrow.
You tell them you want a buttery nipple, alcohol free. They'll give you one.
I'm gonna go to Starbucks tomorrow morning and be like, I need a buttery nipple. They'll be like, what?
like,
happen. Make it happen.
You're in the wrong place.
Just be scared if they come to the counter with butter on their fingers. Right?
oh, it's showtime! Now it's showtime.
Now it's like after hours dark. After
Starbucks after hours.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, real quick before we sign off to the viewers, we want to be sure to let them know that on November 10th, which is next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have pros and cons of plastic surgery. So that's going to be a major issue that we'll be talking about. We're hoping to have a full cast here to talk about this. It's such an important topic, and there's so many different views and opinions and do's and don'ts with it, and people that like it, and the pros and the cons, and I think it could just get very interesting. And if I think it's running a little stale, even though Alicia will be back in the moderator state next week, I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I'm going to get y'all riled up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're ready for you, honey.
I do want to say before we do go, I gotta read a couple of comments that were left. So embracing wellness. Apparently, she's from Canada, and we love our Canadians. Anyway, she says she loves ketchup chips. I don't know what ketchup chips are.
That is a Canadian thing.
I've had them. I think they're good.
She said they have them here in Canada, and they're yummers. So, and then Mary J says, "Thank you all. I'm so glad I have this place to come to. Love you, Alicia, and love you, Big Daddy. You guys make me laugh, and that always makes me feel better. I hope to get to know the others as well. Keep up the good work. Hugs." Thank you, Mary. And then Lori Has Hope says, "I'm with you, Zen. I love chocolate."
Oh, yeah, girl.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love chocolate, you know? But, yeah, like Rob said, next week I should be feeling better, and I really want to thank him for filling in for me and just kind of taking over, you know, the Queen's spot. But, you know, Big Daddy's always willing to do that for us and stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to thank Melissa so much for helping us out, filling in, and it was, well, obviously I know everything about you, so, you know, but it was nice to let the other people get to know you, and you know, as always, thank you, Zen, for being here and showing or telling your point of view. So that was nice. So anyway, guys, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.